Hey, hey. Woohoo. Look at us.
That was some good music,
It,
y'all.
it was. I
Oh
love that music. I feel like that's a whole vibe, a little salsa, getting ready to talk about what we are going to talk about today. I'm excited. I am excited. Okay, everybody. Oh my goodness, we are back at it. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Tipsy Tuesdays. Woo! We're here. We are here. And of course, for those who know me, you know me. If you don't know me, I am Everly Alexander, and I am the CEO and founder of COAC, which is just a nice abbreviation for my nonprofit called Community Outreach and Advocacy Corporation. And of course, the Good Resume Project. And of course, the Good Resume Project is right under COAC. But today we are talking with an amazing person, somebody that obviously, if you look at her, she is near and dear to me. She is my kid. She is my sis. She is my twin, Miss Ebony Lawson, who is our love and authenticity expert. Excuse me, let me get it right because I almost messed up your title, and that is unacceptable. Ebony Lawson, our love and authenticity expert, and today she is going to be talking about her new journey. She has really embarked on a beautiful journey of becoming a digital nomad and working remotely out of the country. And so, before I hand it over to her, I want to say thank you. I know that, I know that we're sisters, but you don't have to do here. You don't have to do this. You didn't have to be here. So, I appreciate you for sharing your story, your tips, and everything with the listeners and the viewers today. But before we get started, please hit the subscribe button, follow us, share this video, like this video if you're on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. Definitely follow my page, and shoot, check her out as well. All right, so let's get into it because I don't want to keep people waiting for too long. And it's just how we do on digital, or I'm sorry, on Tipsy Tuesday. But let's get into it. Can I ask you a question? And maybe you can answer it. And from your perspective, what is a digital nomad? For those who don't know what it is, to me, I feel like it's a new age term. But can you explain just from your own experience so far what a digital nomad is?
Yeah, I think a digital nomad really just is defined really differently for many different people depending on what it is that you're doing. But in general, a digital nomad is someone that chooses to be have an environment where they work that they're not fixed to be in, where you don't have to go into an office. The world is your office. You could go to the beach, you could go to the cafe, you could be working from anywhere in the world and still allow yourself to be making money. And so a lot of that is rooted on being on the computer or doing something with technology so that you have access to your different streams of income. So
Oh,
that's my definition of a digital nomad, is being
I mean,
wherever you
you would know.
okay.
you, you you would know. I mean, you have been. I feel like your personality screams digital nomad. Being different places, wanting to be at different locations. I feel like that is your natural being. And according to HubSpot, I did a little research before we got on here. But according to HubSpot, a digital nomad is somebody who is a remote worker who usually travels to different locations, like you said. So they're often working in coffee shops or co working spaces, public libraries. They are relying on devices with wireless internet capabilities like smartphones and mobile hotspots to do the work wherever they want. So it doesn't have to be out of the country. But I know that a lot of people lately, especially here in the US, have been talking about becoming a digital nomad and what that looks like to have a limitless lifestyle and be free to do, number one, whatever it is they want to do, or have that flexibility in the schedule, and kind of break those chains of a regular 9 to 5, and have that freedom. And so that is one of the reasons why I am so excited that you're here. to talk about becoming a digital nomad and share some tips with how someone who might be thinking or pondering digital nomadcy. I don't know. I just made that up. I just
Okay, I see
I
it.
just made
I agree.
digital nomadcy. Did you like it?
It was
No.
great. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I don't think people liked it, but it was cool. It was okay.
That's all right. That's all right. For those who want to become a digital nomad, I'm so excited that you're here to share some tips on your journey. Um, all right. So, hey, Stephanie, I see you in here. All right. So let's talk about your why. Like, what made you decide? Like, why? First of all, why did you want to become a digital nomad? And why did you want to do it in another country altogether?
Yeah, it's been a vision of mine for years. I've wanted to, like, I've always seen the ability to work wherever I am. Like, I've always imagined being in Bali and like on the porch somewhere of my beautiful villa and eating fresh fruit and having my laptop out and seeing my clients and looking over and seeing the mountains off into the distance and the beach waves and hearing the sounds of all the animals and things outside in nature. Like, that's always been a vision for at least the last 6 years. And I started my business with the intention of being able to work remotely, especially in my field. And we'll talk a little bit about that. But in my field, it wasn't the standard, it wasn't the norm to work remotely. You had to be face to face. And I know remote workers and digital nomads have been around for a pretty long time. This is not a new concept. People have been working anywhere all over the world from their computers. So for me, my biggest plow or my vision, it was just time. Like, I think the pandemic opened us up to more opportunities that was not there before, and if they were there before, they weren't accessible to everybody. And so I think so many people got the bug to just get out. It was just like, oh, you mean to tell me I don't have to come into the office? You mean to tell me I don't have to go into physical location just to get paid to do my job, and I don't have to be there for 8 hours? I can do that 8 hour job in like an hour or 2 hours. You mean to tell me that I don't have to get into a car and spend my gas money when the world is like blowing up right now? Okay, bet money. I'm about to do it. And for me, the pandemic, working from home and doing a 9 to 5 from home was stressful. Like, I ended up having not only working a full time job, but also running my business full time. I was working 70 hours a week.
Wow.
I didn't have time for a lot of things. So, that meant that I had to make time for my social life, my love life, my friendships, my family, my everything. And then I still had to have time for me. And that was pushed to the back burner because I was prioritizing working over and essentially overworking because I was chasing a financial goal. And then I just got sick. My body was like, girl, nah, you thought we was gonna be able to maintain this 70 hours a week. And I thought I was doing something. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go from 70 hours to 50 hours a week. And that was like my thinking. Like, and
Mhm.
I was so overstimulated and overwhelmed with working all the time and being in the concept of being busy, because being busy is praised and prioritized when you're working. And I
Yeah.
was like, this isn't my spirit. Like, I am a a flyer. Like, I'm a floater. I need to have access to time freedom.
Yeah.
And so I just got to a point where I was just like, I'm done. I'm just done. I don't want to do this no more. I want to be somewhere else, and I actually want to live out my dream. And it is not here in America. And I need to go to another country and do what I said that I've been wanting to do for so many years, which is work and live and play, but not in the States. So
Oh,
that's why I did that. I wanted to get out the rat race and the stress of having to work and being measured, or having my good enough be measured against how much or how many hours I worked in order to be successful. I was tired of that.
oh. Okay. Now that you said something. Having your good enough be measured. Wow. I think that that's where a lot of people in today's society are. They're in a space of feeling stuck because they need that financial cushion, but they also equally want to have that time where they have the flexibility. So many people are fighting for these work from home jobs, or they're fighting for that work life balance, which I know you have a whole theory on this whole work life balance thing, but they're fighting for they're good enough. And there sometimes for some people they don't feel like there's enough time in the day for their good enough to even be capable, to even be possible. I don't have enough room in my mind to think creatively.
Yeah.
I want to start this business, but you know what? I got this house note. I got this daycare. I got these doctor bills, and what can I do? You know what I mean? How can I release myself? Even for the people who don't want to start their own business, they're not entrepreneurs. They just want to work a life or have a lifestyle where they are free from those time constraints. And I know that you'll talk and touch on some of that in a little bit, but that's a beautiful thing. Your good enough was being measured by the amount of time that you were being put in. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I totally agree with that. I
Yeah.
totally agree with that.
I mean, we have a societal structure that prioritizes the doing of life. Like just do, 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 do. Your success is measured by how much you do. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, what about my being? And is my beingness actually being prioritized? Is my beingness taken care of? Do you even care about my beingness working at this company? Do you even prioritize that within your business model or your structure? No, you don't? Okay, cool. So then at what point do I actually prioritize the beingness of my humanity over doing too much to get to the success and then end up being sick and can't even have fun living out that success? Ain't nobody got time for that.
No, they don't.
No.
That's a big deal. That's a big deal. And to me, I think it's a mentality, right? It's a mindset that you have to get get yourself into. Um, Stephanie asks, is work life balance even real?
Ooh, and Stephanie, we're going to talk about this another time too, but for sure, like I'll give you my understanding of what I believe work life balance really is because I just disagree with it. I disagree with the idea of work life balance. If I have to balance, it really boils down to what am I defining as work? If work for me looks like going to a job that I feel obligated to get up and have to do on a day to day basis in order to be obligated to pay the bills, in order to be obligated to live in this life, is that really truly pleasure for me? And so there's no balance when I'm obligated. There's no balance when I'm pushing myself into something that I don't want to do. You can't be balanced there. There's no such thing. You're going to automatically be stressed. So when I think of work life balance, I literally,
Ebony,
mhm,
give me one. I want you to continue to lead it. I have to do something really quick.
okay.
I have okay.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So yeah, like I really think that if we're talking about a balance, we've got to put ourselves in a balanced environment. So are you doing something that you love to do? Are you doing something that actually feels inspiring to you? And that for me was not like I love my work, but going into an office and having to perform because that's what my job told me to do was not balance worthy and it didn't feel good. And so when I think of work life balance, I think of how are you defining work? And then what are you defining balance as too? And so for me, the balance looks like I want to live a life where I actually get to have pleasure in every single moment and every single opportunity and every single day. And getting up and going someplace only to make the balance be the weekend was not my cup of tea. I was tired of working all these hours only to have 2 days out of the week or my evenings or my mornings. I was like, no, I don't want that. So, yeah. So I just disagree with that theory because for me, balance means peace. And if I'm not at peace with what I'm doing, then it's not work life balance. There's no balance.
Oh my goodness, I love that. And thank you. I'm sorry to everyone. I was expecting a package at my door and I had to sign for it, and I knew they would come right in the middle of this. So I am I apologize. Thank you for answering Stephanie's question and leading the conversation. I figured I could trust you with that. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Um, okay, so you gave her some good tips um, about how to or what your beliefs are about work life balance, and I love that you did that. And I'm so excited that you even touched on it, because that is a question that I'm sure that a lot of people have asked themselves, like, is work life balance even a real thing? Like, what am I doing? I still feel like I'm running the rat race. I still feel like I'm turning my wheels. I still feel like I have a micromanaging boss who's on me, wanting me to be near my computer, and I'm tied to my computer. I don't want to be tied to my anything. I want to be tied to what I want to do or how I want to do it. So I
Essentially.
love that you touched on that. Um, so let's talk about when you knew it was the best time to take the leap. Like, we don't just become digital nomads overnight. And then for you to make a leap out of the country, it's not like you were going to another state. It's not like you were going down the street to another house.
It
Like,
was.
you went out of the US. So what made you decide now is the time to take the leap of faith and just pull the trigger?
Yeah, in my journey in the way that I work, I was working at I had like one of what I thought was a really amazing opportunities in my career to work with psychedelics and be able to offer that to people. And it was an amazing, like I had never worked for a company that prioritized my mental health and everybody's mental health. Like when I tell you they had the human connection in their business model, it was beautiful. And even in that, I was still tired of having to go to work 4 days a week to
Yeah.
somebody's job. And then having to work with clients that I'm like, not necessarily needing to work with or wanting to work with. I have to because I'm the therapist there. So, or just having to be a part of what I thought was my measure of success. Like it clicked one day for me where I was just like, hold up. Like, I love what I'm doing and there's no fires going like all around me, but I'm still not feeling this fulfilled. I'm not feeling fulfilled. And I had to make a decision. Am I really going to move into the direction of my fulfillment? I think it was like October last year. Like I remember having this wake up call and I was like, I don't reach all my goals. Like I woke up and I said I met my goals. Like I met my financial goals that I wanted. I met my work goals. I met all these goals I had set out for myself for my first half of life. And as I inched closer to 40, I was like, is this what I want to be doing for the next half of my life into like what people think retirement ages are? And for me, that's not even retirement. So I'm like, well, if it's retirement, I want to retire this life. This life can no longer come with me in the new wave. This life requires me to get up and work for somebody. This life requires me to be afraid of going out on my own and figuring out how am I going to make it work financially. So it really became, well, if I'm going to do it, Ebony, then you're going to go and do it big. And this is just what it has to be. And at that time, my lease was going to end in February of this year, 2022. So I was like, ooh, if I make this decision, I have to make it before I re-sign my lease because I don't want to have to, because the way the contract was set up, I would have to pay all this money to get out of it if I eventually wanted to do it. So I was like, either I'm going to pay thousands of dollars to get out of a contract when my rent is rising significantly and I'm tired of paying all this money out. Or I'm going to stay here for another year doing the same thing that I told myself I'm not doing when I move into this new era. So it really was
Mm.
like my back was up against the wall. Either pay thousands of dollars, which I don't think anybody wants to do, unless you just want to do it. Like when I
Yeah.
tell you it's thousands, I think to break my lease, it would have been like $4 or $5,000 to break the lease on something that's like absolutely no. Or wait an entire year for it to come around again in 2023. I said I can't do that, and I just felt like the wall was closing in, and I had to make a choice to get out of the thing. So I said, you know what? I'm pulling the trigger. I'm doing it. I don't care if I don't have all the ducks in a row. I'm going to make it work regardless because I have to.
Wow. That's a true testament of betting on yourself,
Mm.
and really for my spiritual people out there, really really believing in your faith, holding true to what it is you hear, what it is you feel, because I feel like oftentimes we may have these feelings of taking the leap or jumping off the cliff, right? And then we get scared. It's like, oh wait, hold on. Is everything in a row? Are all my ducks in a row? Do I have enough money saved up? And the money that I do have saved up, will that take me to where I want to go? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what about emergencies and all of those things, when just kind of letting go and letting God, for the people that are believers, letting go and letting God kind of lead you to where you're supposed to truly be, and allowing Him to open up those doors for you, and allowing yourself to just be right. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of people don't. There are all these stipulations, all these rules, all of these uh, thoughts that get clouded they get caught in their own way. I think I'm a victim of that too. so so when I
Well, I
look
think
at
we all
you,
are.
say it again.
I was like, I think we all are to some
Yeah,
extent. It
yeah.
really, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to like add on to what you're saying about trust. And maybe I'll talk about it a little bit later too, about what it means to mentally prepare yourself and emotionally prepare yourself to begin trusting, because you have to trust in order to have courage to do something that no one has done around you, or to be different than your circle. And if I'm trying to create a life that I'm not seeing around myself, that means I'm going to have to trust the unknown and do it while completely afraid and jumping all of my parts inside of the pool, and I'm gonna have to learn to swim. But I can't do that when I don't trust or believe in my own inner vision and know that it's going to work out, because I'm needing some sort of physical tangible proof to see it work out. When I think about trust, it's blind faith. Like, I have to have faith in something that I can't see, but I can see it in here. I just can't see it out here yet until I make it real. And that takes some work. That's not like, oh, an overnight, like, okay, one day I woke up and now I trust my vision. Yay! Nobody's doing that. It took time to learn how to trust with my eyes closed and to see from the inside versus looking at the outside.
Ooh, yeah. You were touching on some big stuff. So then just jump right into it. Like, how how did you prepare yourself mentally, emotionally, and spiritually for this journey that you've taken?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I guess I'll talk about just the mental and emotional preparation, because I feel like that took years more so, or and the spiritual, all of it took years to build. I wouldn't say like there's this 1, 2, 3, 4 step that you go through, because I think anybody who's got this formula for how to do X, Y, and Z, it's like that's not reality, because your formula is not going to work for me. My formula is not going to work for you. So now you've got to go in and say, wait a minute. So I learned just through my own journey and through my own work of trusting in the divine, trusting that I am the divine. I had to go in and go, wait a minute. When I close my eyes, what do I see? I see my
Mm,
own thoughts. I see my own vision. I see my own anything because my eyes are closed. So can I see from the inside first? Because the minute I open my eyes, I'm going to see that my surroundings didn't look any different. They don't look any kind of different, right? Yeah,
yeah.
see from the inside, right? So if I can close my eyes and I can create the vision for myself, then I have to now make a choice to, instead of have what we call imagination, negative imagination. The negative imagination is worry. Am I gonna focus on the worry? Am I gonna focus on all the things that can't go right? Am I gonna focus on that imagination? Or am I gonna close my eyes and focus on the positive imagination, where I get to see it actually panning out? I get to see me on the other side. I get to see the outcome. I get to see myself experiencing the life that I wanna see. Okay,
Mm,
that's the one that I want, because that moves me in a way that my belly gets all tight. That moves me where I get goosebumps all over my skin. That moves me to the point where I'm like, "Ooh, that's orgasmic," because that's the path I'm supposed to go on. If it scares you, go towards it. And I've always been somebody who just ripped the band-aid off. So it's like, I
Yeah,
rip the band-aid off. That's not everybody.
no. Let's pause real quick and tell everybody that growing up, if everybody always asks, like with twins, who does this and who does that, and how are you different and what makes you the same? Ebony has always, she gonna jump the cliff. She gonna make the dive. She's always been that way. I've always been a little bit more, okay, all right, let me just look around. Okay, it still look okay to go outside, but let me still see. Ebony, she's like, I don't care what it looks like. I'm going out there. Take this leap. We're gonna take this. We're gonna do this like this. I don't know how. I don't know how I'm gonna get there. I know A. I know B comes after A, but I might end up at Z before I even start at A. Like what? You know what I mean? That's how she has always been. So her taking this leap of faith in the way that she has is just, it's just kind of been right up
It's
her
good.
alley.
Alley.
Yeah.
But if I could say anything to that, there's nothing wrong with being cautious.
Yeah.
So I still have caution when I'm planning big ideas. Like this required some caution. Like, whoa, what am I about to do? You mean you're about to sell everything? You about to give it all up? And I say, so when it comes to like having that leap, just take a leap. I had so many experiences in my life where I had to practice just putting one foot in front of the other and just doing it and seeing where the outcome is. And what I find and continue to find is there's never a wrong. There is never a wrong. You might get bruised, but there is no wrong path. Like you're always on the path. You're not ever off the path. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. You're never off the path. Like you're always going to get to the destination. It just depends on how you choose to go up that mountain. Like I don't know if you've ever heard the quote, and I can't even think of who the quote is, but there's this quote that talks about how to go up a mountain. You're going to have the person that goes straight up the mountain. You're going to have the person that goes around the mountain and may go into the pits of the mountain. You have the person that's going to run and sprint up the mountain. You have the person who's going to take a slow walk up the mountain. No matter what, the goal is I'm going to get to the top of the mountain. So however you do it, there is no wrong path. You're just going to get to that goal. Even if it takes you 15 years to get to the top of the mountain, you still kept going. So don't, like, for me, it was like, don't stop believing in a vision, even if you can't see it today. The moment you start to feel it in your body, you start to have that visceral reaction. That's when you know it's time to take action. But if you can't see it just yet, don't worry about that. Just let it, just let it percolate on the inside. Percolate. And then once you feel it and you're like, oh my God, it feels so real, because you're going to start to see it in everything you do. You're going to start to see it pop up in the ads on Google. You're going to start to see it pop up in the Instagram and the Facebook. Your friends are going to talk about it. You're going to start meeting somebody new. You're going to hear it on the radio. You're going to hear it everywhere. And you're going to be like, oh my God, somebody, I'm like, spirits talking to me, spirits guiding me. That's when you really feel it viscerally. That's when you know, because you're about to get your how. Because you don't have to worry about the how. You ever hear that? Oh, I used to hate when people say that. Don't worry about the how. Don't worry about the how. I'd be like, how do you not worry about the how? It's not your business to worry about the how. Like, and I think what they missed when they were saying that was that the how is going to come to you when you actually put a vision to what you say you want. So make a decision first. Okay. Don't act on it yet. Don't take no leaps. Just make it mentally. Make it here in your heart. Then close your eyes. See the vision of it actually happening, and hold that vision every day into your mind. Say it when you wake up. See it when you go to sleep. And then and only then, when it comes out of your pores, and that's the only thing that you can see around you, that's when it's time to take action and make plans. Woo. Just to give you all a thing. So
I mean, that's a whole, that's a word. That's a word, because that, to me, I feel like that's kind of like in my current situation of like next path and how I want to move, and do I feel right where I am? You know what I mean? And like I just have to kind of be in that space of, okay, I can see myself doing it. I've already envisioned it, but
Mhm.
now I'm at a point of feeling it like I just can't do what I'm doing anymore. I gotta do this. I gotta do this. You know what I mean? Like that's the seeping of the out of the pores that I think you're talking about. And then, but that's good that you said that that is the way that you. That's when you know, right?
Mhm.
Because I think people get caught up in the, well, how do I know if it's not tangible? How do I know?
Mhm.
Well, baby, that's tangible. If it feels like if you can't go into the 9 to 5 and you get
Mhm.
sick, you have anxiety going in there, and you know in your heart you should be doing something else. Run for the hills. Plan, 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 because it never works out. When you're supposed to do something else, whatever your heart desires, it you are supposed to do that. And like Ebony mentioned, you are already on the path. Everything that you've done to this point has led you here. Everything that you've done at this point were all teaching experiences to get you to the next phase of your life. Trust it. Believe in that. So yeah, no, I love all of that. Now Stephanie has asked, should we raise an offering? She want to know, she said, preach, Ebony, preach.
Listen, pass the collection plate. Listen, pass it around. I got a PayPal. I got a cash app. Good resume project has it too.
Ding ding. Oh man, look, I love it. I love it. And I know we're a little over time, so I hope that's okay with people, but I feel like she's spitting some gems here that's going to help people just navigate in life, right? It's just more navigating.
And I just want to say something too, because oftentimes we wait for things to get bad before we feel we have to take action. And the house doesn't always have to be on fire in order for you to move.
Yeah.
Okay. The house doesn't have to be on fire in order for you to move. You can move when you feel it's on fire within your own self. So it can be all good. Just don't wait for, like, oh, I gotta look for this somehow chaotic measure to like let me know that it's breakaway time. Like it could be
Yep.
beautiful, you could be cushy, the money could be flowing, the friendships and the partnerships and the connections could be all nice and lovely, and you could feel great. Like, oh, why would I leave this? It feels great. But are you really fulfilled even if it feels great?
Mm.
Do you
Ooh,
really feel fulfilled even if it feels great? And that's a question that you have to ask your spirit, because that's when you really start to unfold and crack into, well, who am I really and what
yeah.
do I really want?
Period.
Period.
Period. That's that. All
Period.
right, well, tell us, because this is the question, right? All right, I've prepared myself mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. I've done my visualizations. I know where I want to go. I just, how do I get there financially? Like, what do I do?
So this is going to look different for everybody, but I feel like you have to have a couple of financial plans. I don't feel like you, well, I take that back. You don't have to. Let me break down what I'm trying to say. So when you move out the country, it's significantly cheaper. It's cheaper. It's cheaper than the States. And you're not gonna pay what you be paying in the States. So start there, okay? I mean, but of course depends on which country you're trying to move to. Like if you're trying to go to Europe, it's still gonna be pricey like the States. So if you're trying to go to parts of South America or Central America, it's a little bit easier. Or Southeast Asia, it's cheaper. So look for the countries that's more affordable for your budget, right? Like, so I'm in Mexico right now. It's more affordable for my budget. The dollar stretches pretty significantly here. So instead of paying $1,200 just to live in an apartment at home in the States, in a place that probably shouldn't even have been $1,200, I'm only paying $650, right? Like there's a significant, that's a 600 something dollar or
Mhm.
whatever gap. So now here's that. So okay, that means that if I go to another country, I'm not going to have a car. So that means that my car costs go away. That means that my car insurance goes away. So then that bill eliminates. So you've already started eliminating bills right there. So look at how you would want to make the move. Like, where would you want to go? How would you want to live? I'm not a partier. I'm not a drinker. So I don't
Yeah.
have to worry about spending on bottles and clubs. And that's not my life. Okay. So I'm going to go to the fruit store and I'm going to get me some fruit. And I'm going to come back home and I'm going to eat it. That doesn't take a lot of money. Like, it just doesn't take a lot of money. So your money will stretch you depending on what kind of person you are when you are making a plan financially to move out of the states. And I think that's the reason why a lot of people are moving to Mexico. It's growing. There's a lot of opportunities for people, etc. But
Yeah.
that's the first financial plan, is just eliminate the idea that you have to have a lot of money to do it. Start there. Take that
Okay.
out the ballpark.
Done.
Second part of the plan is, think about how much money it would require for you to feel comfortable. So if I'm eliminating the bills, what bills are now left over? Okay, I'm definitely gonna have to have uh, my phone bill, that's for
Yep.
sure. I'm going to have money for food. I'm going to have money for rent wherever I stay. And for most places that is not the States, your utilities are typically included in your rent. So your internet may or may not be included, but it's cheaper. Your electricity, your gas is typically included in the fee. So
Yep.
if $650 is all of that included, and maybe I pay a little extra for internet, I am not paying nearly as much in utilities, right? So then your utilities bills are going to be drastically low on top of that. So what do you really have? Are you going to have a car that you rent every day of the week? Or are you going to get around by the public transportation? Are you going to get around by taxi? Are you going to get around by bicycle or foot? That
Yeah.
that plays a role.
Well,
Um,
how do you get around?
So I get around with a bike, and I get around with public transportation, and I get around by foot. At first, I was getting around by taxi, but then I was like, it's so much easier to just take the bus or ride my bike to the grocery stores and do my errands. I have a little basket on the back of my bike. It's so
Yeah.
nice. It's so cool. So I prepared financially in a couple different ways. So the first thing that I did was I sold my stuff. That gave me a lot of money. I sold everything in my apartment. I kept some of the things into like a little mini storage, but for the bulk of the stuff I sold what I could and I made a guap, okay? And
Yeah.
so then I sold my car. If you don't know this right now and you have a pretty decent car, and you feel like it runs really good and you feel like you want to do it, you might have positive equity in your car. Car dealerships, car manufacturers are not making cars as much as they used to. So car dealerships and places like that are looking for parts. So the amount of money I paid for my car is the amount of money I got back for my car, minus like
Wow.
$2,000. So that's a positive equity when cars usually are depreciating at this time. So if you're looking to do it now, you might have positive equity in your car. So that gave me a nice, beautiful cushion that I could throw into my savings account. So that also became another possibility for an expense. I mean, not an expense, but a way to have like an emergency
Money.
fund or a cushion
Hmm.
or something if I needed it.
Yeah.
And then investments. That's also, so I have direct income, money that I actually make by working. I have passive income, money that I make just because it's there and it's through my own investments. And then I have savings and an emergency fund in case I have a backup. And I'm saying this because that's just what I chose to do. You literally don't have to do that. There have been people who come out here with maybe a small amount of money, and that's it. All you have to know is how to make money. That's all you have to know when you move out here. You don't have to have nothing else figured out. Just, where is my money coming from? And if all you have is a job,
Yeah.
then do that. Do that and just move. Just buy your plane ticket. When you get to the country, join, your Facebook groups. You will find places to live easily and comfortably, make friends, do your job, and you'll be straight.
I love that. I love that because then that would bring us to the next question of what would you tell somebody? And I think you kind of just answered that. That like, what would you tell somebody who doesn't want to start their own business, who wants to do this digital nomad ship, like I called it? But I think you really just touched on that. What would you tell somebody who one is to still work their 9 to 5, right? And they didn't want to go into the entrepreneurial field at all, but they just want to do remote work. Are they able to do that in the States and still travel? Do they have to find a job in the country that they want to go to and work remotely from there? Like, what do you think?
Is
I
that
could also,
you could also what?
I could also touch on that too.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I think it's best to work in your United States country. And the
Yeah.
reason I say that is because we have an American privilege financially that allows us to travel around the world and keep a pretty income. And that's just the privilege and the nitty gritty of it all. So I wouldn't go working for another company in another country unless you know you can financially sustain yourself that way.
Yeah.
And not every country will allow you as a digital nomad to work in their country because that those jobs are reserved for the locals and the nationals that live there, and they're not trying to take the opportunities out the people's mouths because that's called colonization, right? So we don't do that. Don't colonize. Just go with your money and add to the economic system. That's probably going to be your biggest way.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So just keep
I
your
would
job, and then also, I don't. I think I answered your question. Yeah.
You did. I mean, and I was going to add to that because I feel like you touched on a lot of good points. That's one of the questions just as a resume writer, I get, well, I want to move to another country. Do I have to even do all that? Like, do I have to do all that to live a life or be have a sustainable lifestyle? And I would say, like you said, it depends on what you really want to do. But ultimately, pull from the bag that you're already in. It's easier to work within the field or the area, the states. This is what I'm speaking of. That you know the U.S. and there are plenty of remote jobs that you can find on flexjobs.com for those who need some resources. Go to flexjobs.com. They have nothing but remote jobs on there. Find something that's 100% remote, something that doesn't require you to come in when the offices reopen. They may need you to, travel to the office or something, just something that, find something that's 100, I say 1000% remote, because I don't feel like those 100% remote jobs, they're not really all 100% remote. Find something that works for you, something that you feel comfortable. Take what your mom said off the table. Take what your sister and your friends are talking about. Oh, you should do this, or you might be good at that, or I've always seen you as a lawyer. I've always seen you as this. What do you want to do? What do you want to be? How do you want to see yourself? So it still goes back to pinpointing that in the emotional, spiritual phase when you're thinking of how you should operate financially when wanting to work in another country. But I love that you brought up colonization and how other countries might not even give you a job, you know, in their country because it is reserved for the people that live there. So those are things to think about. Um, yeah, you touched on a great deal.
Yeah.
So mhm.
Um, flex jobs, you said.
Flexjobs.com is a really good resource.
Indeed.
Um, I said
Too.
again,
Indeed is
yes,
good. And then LinkedIn has a lot of remote jobs
always.
there too.
Always. And I always plug those. I always feel like those are the ones that people know about, but a lot of people don't know about Flex Jobs. It is the largest in the nation with flexible jobs. That's just for that. You know what I mean? It's just specifically for remote
Yes.
work. And then I've found out when I would do work on the side, like my side work, I found a lot of jobs that I would get hired for, and they were in other countries as well. You know what I mean? Depending on the countries that want you to work, they'll accept you. So it just depends. But flex job is always a good place if you have been looking on LinkedIn, and if you have been looking on Google and Indeed and all the job board sites, and you're like, all right, now I found some things, but where's the hub? I personally feel like flexjobs.com is like the hub for flexible remote working positions. Yeah.
And if you're somebody who is like, I don't have the criteria or the credentials for these jobs, like that's not where I'm looking, get on YouTube and type in remote work jobs 2022 or 2023. And you're going to find people have made a business and being an influencer around looking for today remote jobs that's going to be up for a week. Go and apply right now. And they're legit. They're not like these scammers out here. And I say that for the creatives, and because I've run into people who are like, but that's not my lane. Like I don't do that, and I don't want to, and I don't want to go working for another government or another system. So YouTube is also another opportunity, and TikTok University right now is the way to go. Just type in remote work or side hustles or passive income, and you will find yourself what you're looking for on TikTok.
Look at TikTok. You know what? TikTok is coming up. Well, I tell you what, people are loving some TikTok. I have just started kind of getting on there and playing
I
with
know.
videos. I'm so behind. I'm so
Well,
behind.
I think we all are. I mean, it's a little like, I like TikTok now, but it's still something I'm still getting used to.
Got you. Well, then let's talk about the very last thing. And I want to thank everybody so much for hanging in there with us while she drops these gems on us. Um, but this is what I want to know. This is, you touched on how you have investments. You touched on how you have savings. And, in the I'll just go out and say it, in the Black community, these are not things that we often talk about. We don't talk about investing, and we don't talk about, I mean, that we're just now starting to kind of be more privy to it. But these are conversations that's been had in other cultures for forever. That's just what they're rooted in. And so building passive revenue alongside of your direct income, how can you do that? What does that even mean? And how are you making that work for you?
Yeah. So passive income is really where you make your money work for you. Your money is your bitch. Your money is your employee. So your money is going to go out and do its job, and it's going to bring you a return on your investment. That's what passive income is. So you basically are doing 20% of the work and getting an 80% return because you're not doing that much. And for me, because time freedom is essential for my lifestyle, I absolutely do not like working. I don't like it. I don't like having to get up and going to some place every day. Some people may, and that's cool. That's not me. So that means that I have to find another way to make money that doesn't require me to do anything. And that's what passive income is. So I think the beautiful thing about the pandemic is that a lot of people realize, like, oh, wow, a lot of people got rich when the pandemic hit. A lot of people's finances said, whoop, or it went straight smack down and they had to rebuild. And that gave us an inside look at to what the richest people of the world have been doing for a long time. And we're starting to get information on why it's really important not to put your money in the bank and why you need to take your money out the bank. Because if an economic crash happens, aka recession, guess what's going to be the first to go? Your 401k, your IRA, your Roths, your CDs, your savings account. If the bank shuts down, you have no money. Then guess what? You went from middle class, high class to boop, poverty level. So that's like the worst advice that we've been sold, or the that meme that goes around. What's the biggest lie you've been told? And that's the lie. Put your money in savings. No, don't put your money in savings. Get your shit out the bank. So that's really where I had to shift my mind, is how do I still pay my bills, make my money, and take my stuff out of the bank? So I stopped looking at bank accounts and started looking at investment accounts and how to do that. I met a beautiful soul. His name is Dwayne Mooney. If you ever on Facebook, hit up the Wealth Portal Facebook group. Him and his twin brother um, run this group, but he introduced me to making passive income through cryptocurrency. And I know that like a lot of people find that risky because it is. It's risky. Crypto is risky, just like investing in stocks is risky. But it is what it is, right? You can't play the big boy game if you're not willing to take some risk when it comes to certain investments. Not all investments require risk, but that's one big boy investment is investing in crypto, but investing in a smart account that allows for you to trade without you trading, because I'm not a day trader. So I get pretty much a 3 to 5% return on my money each and every Friday and Saturday, which means that I could take that cryptocurrency out and pay a bill with it, or I could just reinvest it into the pool and let it grow and do its work over the next week. All I have to do is press a button on Friday, press a button on Saturday, and be like, "Ooh, I got $200. Ooh, I got $300. Boop." Repeat, rinse,
Every
repeat.
week.
Every
Every
week.
week.
So it became an understanding of, wow, what is compound interest? Compound interest, apparently, according to Albert Einstein, is the eighth richest wonder of the world. So if you can recognize how to make wealth, people are making wealth because of compound. And so if my money can compound on itself, meaning it can double or triple on itself without me having to do anything, then I'm about to make double my money. So if I got $100, I'm gonna put it into an account that's going to go bloop bloop, and I'm gonna now make $300. Okay, that's really the key. So we don't want to use our money. We want to take our now investment money and we want to invest in another investment, right? That's actually going to give us another asset to recycle our money. So this is what we're doing, and I can have a whole class on this. But anyway, how am I doing it? So my first passive sources of income that I actively have each and every week is through a cryptocurrency account. And, we could talk about that offline if you all want information around that, because that takes some timing and some work to process. Because I got my sister on it too, and she's still trying to make it work. It's a mindset thing. It's a mindset.
It's a mindset. I have to release that little fear that I have with it, but it is a mindset.
It is a mindset. So that's the risky part of my investment. The lower risk parts are making sure that I have tax-free retirement incomes that I can actually use for. And the first tax-free retirement that I have is an index universal life insurance policy. If you look up IULs, do some research, find your connections. I can send you connections, whatever the case may be. But this is going to be money that I can borrow from. And this is money that's going to take care of me when I die. This is money that's going to be passed down to generations when I pass on, right? When you think about all these rich people who, look up IULs. You ever watch movies and they're like, oh, such and such just took out a $3 million life insurance policy and now she got killed because of it. It's because they're not talking about just your regular life insurance. They're talking about these kinds of life insurance policies, because these life insurance policies, it'll be tax-free money. When the market drops, your life insurance policy is not going to drop with it. You will always be making money. It compounds yearly so that you're always doubling your money. You can borrow from yourself as if you are the bank, and you can buy whatever you need with it or take care of yourself whatever you need. So that's one way to do it. And then the third passive form of income that I have right now is another life insurance policy. And that one is, if you're interested in looking this up, look up the word infinite banking. Do some research on infinite banking so you'll understand. This is where my bank is. So I'm the bank and I borrow money from myself. And then I put money back into myself. And then I borrow money from myself. And then I put money back into myself, right? You have any debt, you have any credit cards, you have any student loans, you have anything. You pull from this life insurance policy and then you pay bills with that money. Don't pull from your bank account. Take all your money out the bank account, throw it into this life insurance, because it is tax free. And not only is it compounding yearly, you're getting a dividend payout every single month at about 6%, depending on the policy that you get. That's huge. So you mean to tell me that the money that's just been sitting in my bank not giving me any sort of return on my investments. I got $50 in my bank. Why would I leave $50 in my bank when I could put it into my insurance policy, and that $50 can now be $200? And then
Wow.
I could just grow that till it gets to be thousands of dollars, and then millions of dollars. That's how we make that work. And then you mean to tell me it's tax free? That I can borrow from myself without getting a slap in the face for saying, oh, you touched your money? Because that's what 401ks do. That's what Roth IRAs do. So you
Yeah.
want to, if you want to be a part of that tax system, cool. That's not me. I chose to live time freedom, and to me, time freedom doesn't look like my money being tied up with tax and the government. So tax free is the way to go. And then I'm building more passive forms of income that actually make me triple my money, so that I grow my wealth without having to do extra work so fast, so quick, so soon. And once you get the hang of it, then you get real nice with it. You're like, oh, now you start looking for it. It's everywhere. You start to see it. You start hearing people talk about it. You get all excited about it. Again, your vision. So
Vision.
these investment accounts, life insurance policies, you'll probably have heard about it all over the social medias now. Lots of people are talking about it. It is not a scam, people. And yeah.
That's awesome. I love that. I think for people who are thinking of just even ways to build themselves up financially, you don't even have to become a digital nomad to get this knowledge. But just the fact that you are working your 9 to 5 and you're getting this money, take that $100 and invest it into one of these accounts. Do some of these things to help you help yourself, to you until you get to a point of um, feeling like you have some type of financial freedom, or hey, look, I've got these passive incomes, they're coming in. These are multiple revenue streams. The
Mhm.
richest people in the world have multiple revenue streams. You can't just operate off of one. You will not get to where you need to go. So make sure that your money is working for you, like she said, is working for you, you
And if
know.
you move out of the country and your bills are lower, that money that you would be paying into those bills, just put it into your investment account so that it grows on you, because you have more money at this point now. You don't have to spend that money. So it really does require just a reprogramming of how money has been taught to us, and knowing that money is meant to be recycled, and don't ever use your own money to buy things.
I love
Let that out the window. Don't use your bank.
Listen.
Don't let that money sit on that credit card the entire month. But that's another story for
That is another story. Oh my gosh. Well, listen, y'all. Look, I first of all, did she drop gems or what?
another.
Because listen, I know she my sister and everything, but sometimes we don't talk like this. So it's good to hear. It's good to hear some things for me and just my own knowledge as well, that I could utilize to help grow my life. We have separate lives. I mean, yeah, you know what I mean? So, and I know that you all, well, I'm hoping that you all took something away from this that you can utilize or give to somebody else. And like I said, share this video. Somebody needs to hear what she has mentioned this whole hour. This whole hour. I'm sorry, y'all. I know it's normally 30 minutes, but listen, my sister is on. She is all the stuff. She is the plug. She is the plug. All right, to helping you live a more limitless lifestyle, which we all want some way or another. So I love that you came on. I want to thank you again. I'm going to insert my shameless plugs. Okay. So, this is the part of the show where, I just ask for what I want. I shoot my shot. People, we are looking for Tipsy Tuesday partners. So, if you like what my sister just did, she is considered an expert in her field. She is knowledgeable on a lot of different resources, and you are a type of person that like to spread the word. Y'all, hit up my LinkedIn page. Okay, just go right on over to LinkedIn, right? And go to my LinkedIn page, go under the featured section and sign up to be a Tipsy Tuesday partner. I'd love to talk with you. We're currently hosting interviews for 2023. And that's my biggest shameless plug. Another shameless plug. if you need your resume done, you need your resumes, your cover letters, your LinkedIn, your executive bios, any kind of career document. You need it done. You need it to be amazing, beautiful, and it gets you to where you're trying to go. Hit up the Good Resume Project. It's www.goodresumeproject.com. Hit us up, me and my team, which you saw last episode. Mr. Sheldon was in the building giving you some resume tips. And we would love to work with you and help you win that next job and get into the seats of that next interview that's set up for your life divinely, right? Um, and then, of course, last but not least, you want to see what we do on a nonprofit level? Nonprofit, helping is my zhuzh. That's what I do. I love to help the community. Any kind of resource that I have, I'm always giving it to. My whole motto is, if I have it, you have it. Now go do something great with it. And so check out coaxservices.com to see how we're helping underserved communities level up and get jobs, how we're leveling them up and getting them basic essential resources that they need in order to navigate this life that they're living. But it's COAC services.com. Those are my shameless plugs. And if you liked this episode, if you really like this episode, which I love this episode. This was great. She is coming back, y'all. She's coming back. All right. Now, our next Tipsy Tuesday, forgive my typos. Our next Tipsy Tuesday, we're going to take a little bit of a break. With the holidays coming up, my daughter's 9th birthday coming up, that's a holiday in itself. Our next Tipsy Tuesday is going to be September the 13th at 12 p.m. right here on Facebook, right here on LinkedIn, right here on YouTube. And guess what? She coming back. She is coming back. She is going to talk about 4 secret tips to navigate a toxic work environment and take a fulfilling risk. I know you got a little piece of it, but she's going to dive a little bit deeper on a granular level next time. So definitely don't want to miss it. I'm excited for where Tipsy Tuesdays is going. I hope it was helpful. Please let us know in the comment. She asked me to repeat the site. Oh, okay. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm getting ready to put these sites down. Okay. This is right here for everybody. And that's one of the beauties about this particular platform that we have.
It's spelled a little bit wrong.
Oh, thank you.
COA, Coax Services.
Thank you. There you go. Here we go. So that is the nonprofit website. And for the Good Resume Project, we are here. I should have had these typed out already, but we're here at Good Resume Project. Okay, so if you want to see what we're doing for the community and how we're helping the underserved community, check out Coax Services. Here you can volunteer. You can see our variety of programs and what we're doing to help get food on people's tables and to help people get back to work. Then with the Good Resume Project, I mean, you're going to need a resume at some point. At some point, even if you're not looking for a job right now or in the future, you are definitely going to need it at some point. So head on over to goodresumeproject.com where you can work with me and my team. And not only will you work with us, you'll get a continuous resources, a lifetime of continuous resources of how to keep your resume relevant and how to ace that interview, how to negotiate salaries, all those different types of things that come with your package. Okay. All right. So that was my shameless plugs. And once again, like I said, September 13th, it will be our next our next time. You're welcome. Next time that we'll be meeting right here with Miss Ebony to talk about navigating these toxic work environments, which we all need to know how to navigate. They're getting out of control, okay? They're getting out of control.
Yeah, yeah, and it's nice to have some tools to navigate how to move through it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Ebony. I
Thank you for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
Yeah. All right, guys. We are out. Peace.